There's a star, man, and some women waiting in the sky. They'd like to come and meet us, but we might have all just died. That was dumb. Hi everybody. It's me, Grant, the movie and TV guy. Welcome to Raised on Popcorn with Grant, everybody. And tonight, we are here in my Aunt Nina's house. I am in Utah for the Sundance Film Festival. We'll be having a lot of reviews coming. Some of them from Sundance, most of them just movies in general. We got a lot coming up. So yeah, let's start with the first one. We are here to talk about a movie, movies and TV. That's what we do here, and that movie is I.S.S. I.S.S. is directed by Gabriella Cowperthwaite. I hope I'm saying that name correctly. And it centers on, as you would have guessed from the acronym in the title, the International Space Station, particularly the American and Russian astronauts aboard there. They are led by two new arrivals onto the station from elsewhere. Those are Kira Foster, played by Ariana DeBose, and Christian, played by John Gallagher Jr. I didn't even realize that was him. They have just docked onto the International Space Station, where they are, up there researching, doing what you do in outer space. When wouldn't you know it, one fine day, the nukes start going off, and nuclear war between the United States and Russia is happening on Earth, and it's looking like the Earth is basically doomed, and they're stuck up in space on the International Space Station, and they are both told by their respective governments to take control of the ISS by any means necessary. As cabin fever sets in and tensions begin to rise, who will survive? And as I always say, and as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre's poster once said, what will be left of them? Let the mayhem begin. So, ISS is... Yeah, I think my uncle... I saw it with family. I think my uncle summed it up pretty good. I turned to him when the movie ended and I said, "What did you think?" And he says, "I mean, it was all right, but ISS in this case stood for it sucked, sort of, and it kind of did." Not gonna lie, that is kind of the perfect descriptor for this. This movie is not terrible, but it's not very good, and that's kind of a bummer for me. Because I wanted this to be good. Let me put it to you this way: this movie's premise is fantastic. I think the setup of this story is actually existentially and on a horror level a terrifying scenario. You're in outer space. Everyone you love very likely is dead or is going to die from radiation. You're stuck in outer space with someone with people who you're not sure if you can trust. That's terrifying. But the problem with ISS is the characters are almost sociopathically not characters. There's no character development to them really at all. And and the character development they do give, they set up this sort of internal logic to this scenario. And they constantly break their own rules. They constantly um do things that would not. This movie's about 90 minutes. I have a strange suspicion that a good 20 minutes was in this movie that was removed. That was crucial because there are moments in this movie where characters will be really motivated by something and then just kind of forget it. They'll just kind of they'll set up scenarios and then they never pay them off. Characters have motivations and then they don't from scene to scene. There's a character on there, one of the Russians who might be um, fine, named Nika, played by Masha Mashkova, who talks about how her sister and her niece and nephew are on Earth, and she's clearly has a very very strong bond with all three of them. And then the fact that they set up an interesting idea of like the emotional stakes of realizing that everyone you love is in a scenario away from you, isn't only away from you, but is probably dead or at the very least seriously ill. And they set up the emotional complexity of being in the scenario, of being trapped in a space away from your loved ones. And then they really do nothing with it. They don't use it for any kind of psychological complexity. It's just kind of there. Characters behave in ways that make no sense so that certain people can die at certain times or certain people can live at other times. It's very bizarre. And but I guess if I have to be positive about it, because I didn't hate this movie, I will say this: it looks pretty good. The director is a very good director, and she does a good job of making outer space look intense, especially considering she probably didn't have a gravity level budget. The space stuff looks really good. Some of the CGI within it is a little bit wonky, especially when it comes to mice who are on board who are, I guess, part of the experiment. They're clearly CGI, and it looks kind of bad. It sort of reminded me of one of the only major flaws with Haunting of Hill House, which is that scene with the baby kitten where the kitten is clearly not a real kitten. And that's kind of what it is with these mice. Some of the acting is good. Ariana DeVos is great. I think she's kind of wasted here, but she's, great. You got Chris Messina, who is always good, but he's also kind of underused. John Gallagher Jr., who I didn't even realize he was that character. Mainly because he almost always has some kind of facial hair, but John Gallagher Jr. is a good actor, and he's perfectly fine in this. The other actor, they do something very interesting with a casting choice that is not that is often known. They do something really interesting with an often typecast actor, and that actor would be Pilou Asbæk, who plays Alexei. He was the best performer in the movie. I thought he did a really good job, and if there's anybody who had any kind of emotional weight here, it was probably him. But overall, I'm not mad that I watched this movie. I don't think it's a bad movie, but it is pretty dumb. And it's also kind of a disappointment, because again, this premise could have really been interesting if you really put some juice into it and really made it more than just this pedestrian boilerplate kind of thing. Right? Make the writing a little better. Make the motivations a little clearer and better. Keep in crucial information, like the basics. Yeah. So I'm not gonna go into the negative recommendation zone. I'm gonna go right in the middle. I'll give I.S.S. 2.5 stars. It's not anything spectacular, but it's fine. It's all right. It is the definition of mid. It's fine. It's a little bit of a disappointment. Anyway, but yeah, I.S.S. was 2.5 stars. Let's close the book on it. Trailer trash. Let's talk some trailer trash. Trailer trash. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. We talked about this one. It looks good. Arthur the King. We talked about it. Looks good. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Talked about it. Looks good. Lisa Frankenstein. This was a newer trailer. Talked about it. Looks good. This new trailer also looks good. Speaking of Catherine Newton, Abigail. We haven't talked about it. This looks awesome. This is essentially it's the guys who did Ready or Not in the recent Scream films, Radio Silence, and that already has me sold. It's a little girl who's a ballerina who's also a vampire. Sold. I'm in. Bob Marley, One Love, talked about it, looks good. One Life. This looks really good. This stars Anthony Hopkins. Looks like a really moving film. And then Out of Darkness, talked about it, looks good. And was there shawarma? No, there was not. All right. That's it. We will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow later, probably. Even though I'm seeing it earlier in the day because I'm visiting with my dad, which is a rare occurrence, and I want to see him. So, but it's a good one tomorrow. One I've been waiting to see. Tomorrow we will have a review because my family's awesome, and they're going through heaven and earth to go to movies that are way out there for the benefit of you guys. So, big pat on the back. Love my whole extended family here. So yeah, tomorrow we will have a review finally at last of American Fiction. Cannot wait. I've been looking forward to it for a while now. Saturday, well, first off, Saturday I'm seeing Poor Things again, but you already know how I thought of that because I'm seeing it with my dad. And my Uncle Harvey, just spoiler alert, he's going to every movie I'm seeing. He said already, like, he just loves movies. Um, so poor things I'm seeing again, but we're not going to review it. However, tomorrow, my whole family, I mean, pretty much everybody, is going to go see Queen Rock of Montreal in IMAX. Rock on. So I'll have a review of that. And then Sunday, we're seeing Mean Girls again. And then Monday, I am going to the Sundance Film Festival to see the dark comedy Reality starring Amelia Jones. We will not have a full review, but I will do a first reaction on socials and on the second channel. So go look for that. More Popcorn with Grant. We're not even close to being done. Tuesday, we will have a review. Also, next week, we are due to have reviews. Tuesday, we'll have a review of the Spanish documentary Soccer Soul. Also, next week, we're looking at, we will have reviews for Freud's Last Session, starring Anthony Hopkins. Which Brings Me to You, starring Nat Wolff and Lucy Hale. And Cult Killer, starring Antonio Banderas and Alice Eve. Oh gosh, what else? Oh, Friday. We will have, speaking of movies that I've crossed heaven and earth to see, and thank God for the Salt Lake City art house scene. I gotta tell you, we have reviews coming up next week for all of us strangers and the Zone of Interest. So yeah, we'll finally be seeing those as well. And then Saturday, I have a review first reactions out of Sundance for A Real Pain, directed by Jesse Eisenberg and starring Jesse Eisenberg, and Girl State, the documentary, which is a sequel to Boy State. Again, not a full review yet. We'll do our first reactions out of Sundance. And then Sunday, we will have a review. Now, this one we will review because it's coming out soon. It's coming out in March, so we'll just get the review out of the way. But Sunday, from Sundance, we will have a very early review, 2 months early review for the American Society of Magical Negroes, starring David Allen Greer and Justice Smith. And then, am I missing something? Oh, Monday, we are doing AMC Scream Unseen. So we're going to have that. Also, sometime this weekend, next weekend, I'm going to try to see the comedy The Underdogs, starring Snoop Dogg, and more to come. That'll all be next time. Oh, and also, on February 4th, you all think I forgot, but I have not. February 4th, me and my buddy Luke Ponto will begin our quest. We are doing the top 30, yes, you heard me, 30 best films of 2023 with a lot of honorable mentions and a lot of runners-up. And then part 2 will follow exactly 1 week later on February 11th with the worst films of 2023. So that's coming up. And yeah, and that'll be next time. And until next time, I'm Grant, the movie and TV guy. I see it all, and I'm happy to share it with you. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I love you all, class dismissed. I love you 3000. Be kind to one another. If you like this video, give it a like if you want to. Give it a subscribe if you want to. Give it the bell. I don't know what it does. That's what you're supposed to do. Or so I've been told. Leave a comment, even if it's hey Grant, I like waffles. It really helps out. If you want to find us reviews, listen to other fun stuff, you can follow me on all my social media. I'm at either Raised on Popcorn Grant or Raised on Popcorn. Check out my podcast, Raised on Popcorn Grant podcast, on Spotify and Anchor. Some of you already have, but even if you haven't, take care of yourself, take care of your mental health. It's incredibly important. And I want to know down below, what did you think of I.S.S? Did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? Think my opinion is good? Think I'm full of shit? Comment below. Let me know. And until we meet again, we're all raised on popcorn. Live from Utah. Make mine with extra butter. I'll catch you guys next time. Take care, everyone. See you around. Bye. Okay.